Hello everyone, my name's Carmen and I am the clinic coordinator here at Switch On Health. And today I am happy to be welcoming Michelle Crone. Michelle is one of our clinic supervisors here with Switch On Health. Her business is Align with Nature, and thank you, Michelle, for giving us your time and expertise advice today. We really appreciate
You're welcome.
it. So we were just going to ask you a few questions from the point of view as a supervisor with the ultimate goal of, facilitating a smooth and positive clinic experience outcome for both the students and obviously the supervisors as well, to make it sort of mutually beneficial, but to help with our students to be feeling as prepared as possible as they go into their clinic hours, and how we can sort of help to facilitate that. So first of all, what made you choose to become a clinic supervisor for students?
Well, I've been as well. My business is Align Nature Within Naturopathy, so I've named that to bring in what my perception is of what naturopathy should be. So I'll just change that at the end if we can. The reason I become a supervisor, and it's not just recently I've done this, I've been a mentor supervisor for probably the last 10, 15 years in different ways. And with your college, I've just realised that it's really important that students, young and old, have the wisdom of elders, and I just think it's really important that we bring them back to a really grounded place before they get into clinical practice, because they've had years of training, years of taking information in, but then coming back to be grounded and help them to set up their future at the start, rather than wait and scramble like I did, because I didn't have the ability to do this sort of thing. And yeah, it's just really important, I think, that they're ready to go mentally and in their business. I think that's really important, because we've got you get all the knowledge. It's all the other stuff that you have to learn as you go.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Thank you. What expectations do you have of a student coming into clinic?
Well, obviously professionalism, but just being themselves, being authentically themselves, and being honest about where they're at. And if they're shy or embarrassed or nervous, just be authentic. Let me know how they're going. I do appreciate again, professionalism. So knowing that who's the mentor and who's the mentee, in that it would be really awkward if a student spoke over us or me or whoever's mentoring them without, formally being introduced and asked. It's almost, I've had a few situations like that in the past, and I let things fly and speak to them at the end, but it'd be really nice if they could come in and just allow the practitioner who they're observing, and or if they're taking the consult themselves, just to allow the conversation to flow naturally. Rather than butting in and stuff like that.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Yeah, thank you. That's a good point. So in what ways did you feel that you were able to help students in preparing them as a future practitioner?
Well, how long have we got? As a naturopathic practitioner, I graduated in 2003. We had business mentoring. We had people coming in from different colleges and different companies. We went out and we did, well, I did off my own back, went out and did lots of professional webinars and seminars. In those days, we went to seminars all over the place. And I really just made sure that I was able to gather a whole heap of information from a whole heap of different naturopathic sources, to help my body so that I could then gain that wisdom to help others. So I was always exploring different areas. And I think that's really important, that you don't just focus on one thing. It's about, again, aligning nature within us, making sure that we understand how our body works might not be how someone else is working, especially mentally. It's really important to understand that level, and just, gather the information from people gently. And it's a skill that I'd love to be able to teach others, that intuition, that wisdom of being a matriarch in this profession now.
Yeah, great. Yes. We're always learning, aren't we? Awesome. So what do you feel are the most helpful things that a student can be doing to be an asset to your clinic?
There's lots of things. Just having intuitive support, getting in and doing little things that might help, make the practitioner's life easier, maybe photocopying, maybe sending out information that we've requested, and just making notes on the consultation, and following things up. If they had any ideas with IT, I'll put my hands up. More than happy to get help there.
Yes.
But just being an asset to a clinic probably means different things to other people, but for me it's just being supportive of that practitioner and asking questions, and being helpful. Yeah.
And what did you find to be the most rewarding aspect of being a supervisor?
Oh wow. Well, when I ran my clinic a few years ago now, in a beautiful setting that was hand built, purpose built, one of the students had to resit and do some more work because she hadn't done enough work, and she had 3 or 4 children with a new one on the way, and her husband actually jumped in and built the clinic for us.
Wow.
So that was a pretty special thing. That was very rewarding, knowing that someone was so grateful that they put their soul and their life into helping me get a clinic that looked beautiful. And that was pretty rewarding. And then just getting notes from people who I've helped over the years, little notes of thanks and gratitude. And even today, I had one of those yesterday from a young girl who's not a naturopathic student, of course, but just I got a text message from the mother, and she said she thinks you're amazing. I'm like, why? Just it's lovely getting this sort of compliment. Everyone wants compliments or loves compliments. But then you don't realize how much you've actually helped someone, and that's rewarding for me, knowing that I've helped someone better their life, or I've inspired someone some way, just by being authentic and caring for other people.
Yeah, awesome. Love it. What advice would you have for students embarking on clinic hours?
Come in with an open mind, and come in with the ability to just take really great notes, because those notes will go down somewhere and you'll want to look at them later. I remember my mentor, Gillian, who I actually bought her practice many years ago when I first graduated. She was the only one that actually accepted me as a student to come in and do work experience or clinic hours. And her knowledge back then was just amazing. And whether or not mine is now, I don't know. But I think it's really wise to bring in openness, curiosity, and intuition, so that you can take notes, and because someday you're going to think, wow, this is a really tricky problem I've come up with. Someone's just asked me a really good big question. It's put me on the spot. I've got to gather that information for somewhere.
Yes.
And it will just flow through. Yeah. If you're in that learning state, always be curious.
Yeah, awesome. Because I think sometimes it can be, somewhat, I guess, a little bit overwhelming with all of the experiences and everything that's happening. So that's a really good point
absolutely.
about taking notes as well, because you can be like,
Absolutely.
oh, now what happened today? And then you look
Yeah.
through and think, oh, yes, yes. And then, you know, the
Yeah.
learning continues. So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah.
You know, and
Awesome.
just knowing, and also just knowing that whoever you are sitting in with, whoever you are, if you're doing clinic hours and you have clients coming in that are really tricky, just sit back and just go to basics. Go to the basics. Don't complicate health.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
the body is such a beautiful organism that it has the ability to heal on many different levels. Don't make it so complicated that you just get lost in mutations and this, although I do genetic mutations with people and nutritional genomics, but don't get overwhelmed by the big stuff. Sit back, take a big breath and just let it flow. It'll come.
Yeah, awesome. Great advice. Thank you, Michelle. That
You're
was
welcome.
awesome. Did you have any final words of wisdom? I mean, everything that you've said has all been amazing. Did you have any sort of finishing note that you wanted to just put out there for the students?
Yeah, I've just written down here, mindset. Mindset is a huge thing with any business, not just a naturopathic business. And if you have any fear or any perception in yourself when you think of something, think of yourself sitting in the clinic. I do a lot of work with people with Psych K, and I help set up businesses, and I help them get out of their head so that they can actually run their businesses freely and flow. And you know, set their goals, set their mission statements. What do they want their clinic to be? This is a huge area of my mentoring, and in fact sometimes it overtakes just sitting and doing client consultations, because if you can't get out of your own way and you have some little inkling that things aren't right, or you've got some anxiety over something, that's not going to help you. It's not going to serve you.
Yeah, great.
I watched a great tennis superstar last night at the end of his amazing match, and we won't mention any names because this could be here in 20 years, hey? But they'll know who it is. And he just finished his match, and he went and he won the Grand Slam, and he just went. And I knew instantly he was saying mindset.
Yeah.
This is where it comes from. Everything comes from here. So if anyone wants some help with that, please let me know. It's a huge area.
Yeah, thank you so much, Michelle. That's wonderful. I apologize, I didn't have my glasses on earlier, and Align Nature Within
That's all right.
Naturopathy is Michelle's business. And yeah, we thank you so much for your time today. And yeah,
no worries.
Really helpful words there from you. So yeah, looking forward to you know, passing on students for clinic placement with you in the future. And yeah, thank you for your support for the students and the college.
No worries.
Yeah, thanks so much.